Hello and welcome. In the incredibly complex world of healthcare, we are laser-focused on clinical skills, on protocols, on outcomes. And that makes sense. But what if the single biggest performance multiplier for your team isn't a new piece of tech or a new procedure, but something, way more fundamental? Today, we are diving deep into trust. We're pulling from some incredible work that's been discussed within the Culture Coalition, thanks Stephen Covey, Simon Sinek, and we're going to break down exactly why trust is the critical skill for your team's success. Okay, so let's start right here with this foundational idea from Stephen M.R. Covey. We often treat trust like it's the weather, something that just kind of happens to us. But it's not. It's a skill. It is a competency. Just like you can learn to place a central line or read an EKG, you can absolutely learn how to build trust. And in a setting where teams have to rely on each other to take care of really complex patients, this skill isn't just a nice-to-have, it is a non-negotiable. So here's our game plan for this explainer. We're going to start with the why this matters so much. We'll look at the high cost of distrust and a really powerful way to evaluate your team. Then we'll get into the what, like what is trust? Really? And finally, we'll cover the how, with some super practical steps to build trust and a whole new way to think about leadership. Let's get into it.
First up, the why. Why should this be at the very top of your agenda as a healthcare leader? Well, because in a clinical setting, a lack of trust doesn't just create a little friction, it creates genuine risk. It slows down care, it drives up costs, and it can have a very, very real impact on patient outcomes.
Covey has this brilliant way of talking about this. He uses economic terms, a trust tax and a trust dividend. The trust tax, well, that's all the ways that low trust creates. Just think about it for a second. It's that nagging feeling that you have to double-check a colleague's work. It's defensive documentation. It's the interdepartmental politics. It's that hesitation to try something new because you're afraid of being blamed if it goes wrong. But on the flip side, high trust pays a dividend. It is literally a performance multiplier. It's when the resident feels safe enough to say, I don't know. It's the nurse who completely trusts the physician's plan. And all of that leads to faster collaboration and just better, more effective care.
Let's stick with the why for just one more minute, because Simon Sinek offers this incredible framework that is a total game changer for how you think about the people on your teams.
So Sinek tells us to imagine plotting our team members on two different axes. The first one is performance. This is the easy one for us in healthcare, right? It's clinical skills, efficiency, all those measurable outcomes. It's how someone performs in the OR or at the bedside, on the battlefield. But that second axis, that's trust. And this is all about character. How are they when things aren't crazy? Do people trust them? And not just to save a life in a code blue, but do they trust them with their career, with their well-being? That's a whole different level.
And this just nails the point. Sinek says the high performer with low trust, you know who I'm talking about, that brilliant surgeon nobody wants to be in the room with, or that super efficient provider who just steamrolls the rest of the team. That person is toxic. He found that the highest performing organizations in the world, like the Navy SEALs, would rather have a medium performer with high trust on their team than a high performer with low trust, every single time. Because that one toxic person can destroy the psychological safety and effectiveness of the entire team.
Okay, so if we all agree that trust is absolutely vital, we have to ask, what is it really? We can't build it if we can't define it. So let's move from the why to the what, and let's break trust down into its core pieces.
So on this slide, we're combining two really powerful models. First, from Harvard professor Francis Frey, we have the trust triangle. And the idea is that trust gets wobbly if any of these three legs are shaky. First, authenticity. Are you being your real self? Second, logic. Is your clinical reasoning solid? And are you explaining it well? And third, empathy. Do people actually believe you care about them? Now let's layer on Covey's model. He gives us the four cores of credibility. Integrity, that's honesty. Intent, your motives are good. Capabilities, you have the skills. And results, you have a track record of getting things done. Together, these give you a complete dashboard to figure out where trust might be breaking down, for yourself or for someone on your team.
And all of this, it really starts with personal credibility. Like Covey lays out in his amazing book, The Speed of Trust, you simply cannot build trust with other people if you yourself are not credible. These four cores, they're the bedrock. It all begins with looking in the mirror. All right, that brings us to the most practical part of this whole discussion, the how. We know why it matters, we know what it's made of, so how do we actually consciously and quickly build it, especially when we're all so pressed for time? Covey gives us this beautifully simple three-step process. First, declare your intent. Don't just announce a new protocol, explain the why behind it. Say, my intention here is to make patient handoffs safer. Step 2, signal your behavior.
Tell people exactly what you are going to do. So to do that, I'm going to start doing walking rounds with the night shift. It's just like using your turn signal on the highway. You're letting people know your next move. And then the third most obvious step, do what you said you would do. You actually show up for those rounds. Now here's the magic. Steps 1 and 2 are accelerators. Just doing step 3 will build trust, sure, but it takes a long time. But when you declare your intent and signal your behavior first, you build that same level of trust in a fraction of the time.
Okay, let's move to our last section on how. And for this, we're going to zoom out a little, from a specific technique to a fundamental shift in your entire philosophy of leadership.
For decades, the default leadership model has been command and control. You manage people like they're parts of a machine. Motivation is all external, the carrot and the stick. That style is all about containing people and making sure they're compliant. But the new model Covey proposes is trust and inspire. And here, you don't manage people, you lead people. You manage things, budgets, supplies, processes. You lead people. Motivation comes from within. Your job is to help light that fire. You're not a mechanic trying to fix people. You're more like a gardener, creating the conditions for them to grow and thrive. This isn't about just getting compliance. It's about unleashing potential and earning real, genuine commitment.
This is truly the new way to lead, especially in our world today. The old command and control model, it just can't create the kind of agility, innovation, and engagement that modern healthcare demands. The future of leadership, the way you're going to get the absolute best out of your teams, is to shift your entire mindset to one of trust and inspire.
So, I'll leave you with this question. Trust and inspire leadership, it's not some passive theory you read about. It's an active choice you make every day. And as the saying goes, leaders go first. You have to model the behavior you want to see. So think about it. What is one small, specific behavior you can model this week to consciously build trust with your team? Maybe you'll declare your intent in a meeting. Maybe you'll just put your phone away and really listen with empathy. The journey to a high-trust, high-performing team, it starts with you.